All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to BrokeN Boys. This is the 75th episode, and I am Mike.
I'm Colin.
And yeah, today we're going to talk about the entire discography of Green Day. It's going to be a little bit of a long one, but
Oh yeah,
before we get into that, how are you doing this week?
doing all right. Went home last weekend, had a grand old time. Had a little family reunion.
Mm-hmm.
Just chilled out. I went in the pool for a little while. Had a good time.
Ooh.
And I didn't have to come back till Tuesday, and I came back, and then I worked for a couple days, and I'm just chilling out.
Nice.
I went to go see Bullet Train last night.
Oh, I've heard of that. I don't really know anything about it, though.
Yeah, for like every movie I've seen in the past like year, there's been like a trailer for it,
Mm-hmm.
and I was getting a little sick of the same trailer over and over again. But I was always kind of interested in seeing it. It's a comedy where all these people are on the train and they're all trying to kind of kill each other, but like
Okay.
they don't know why.
Mm.
And it's got Brad Pitt, it's got Aaron Taylor Johnson who played Kick-Ass, it's got the guy who played one of the Eternals. It's got it has Bad Bunny in it.
Okay.
Yeah, he played a assassin. I don't know, but it was really funny. It was directed by the guy who did Deadpool 2, so it was a lot of that kind of humor.
Gotcha.
But it was good. It was a really good time. Very funny.
Nice. I have to check that out at some point.
But yeah, I think you'd like it. But other than that, not a whole lot. Just been listening to a lot of Green Day.
Yep.
Yeah, nothing too crazy. How was your week, busy boy?
Yeah. So, with my luck, the week that we roll like specifically for longer discographies and artist analysis ends up being maybe my busiest week of the summer, aside from like going on vacation. Yeah. I mean, yeah. So like on my week was good. Like it was good, but on last Saturday, um, we did like a little birthday celebration with the family because I never really got to do that with them. So that was the time we could get everyone home. So we like went out to Red Lobster. We had like did like some gifts, quote unquote, but it was honestly just money, which I'm okay with. Uh, and that was pretty good. I think the Red Lobster near our house is kind of going down a little bit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my fish was really good. Like I thought I had like it was a salmon, lobster, and like shrimp on a skewer or something. Um, and I thought that turned out pretty good. But my brother's steak was kind of bad. My dad got fish and chips, and like they probably gave him like literally 10 fries.
Oh my.
Yeah, and like my mom said, her pasta tasted a little undercooked. I don't know. They definitely are understaffed there, but like the food quality itself
Right.
also seems to kind of be dwindling a little bit, unfortunately. But I still had a good meal. I liked mine. Pretty good.
Yeah, the person who got their food correct
Yes,
was
yeah,
enjoying the time.
that's true. It's true. But yeah, so that was I enjoyed that, but then we, just kind of came back and hung here. My dad got some cake, which I wasn't expecting. That was pretty nice. Got a little bit of
Kind of
birthday
cake?
cake. Just chocolate, but like it was from
Okay. basic.
It was from Jewel though, so it was pretty good.
No, even more basic.
I know. It's okay though,
Not
because
even homemade.
home. I'm not sure if anyone could make homemade cake in my family. Maybe my grandma or something.
You
Well,
can just
actually,
buy
I'm
a
not.
box.
Can you?
Yeah, you can just buy a box mix,
Oh,
make a cake.
I didn't know it was that easy. Well, maybe. I don't
All
know.
right,
I don't think I've ever
I
had
forgot
one.
you can't even cook a grilled cheese. I
Hey,
completely
I
forgot.
can I
Sorry.
can fucking do a grilled cheese, you motherfucker. um, I also, for your information, cooked an egg for the first time.
Oh my! The first time.
Uh-huh. I think it was on
Jesus Christ.
Sunday. I attempted making over easy, and the first time I think I accidentally made scrambled. Uh, and then I did it again with another egg, and I got it a little bit better. Um, so moving up in the
Mm.
world, I think I'll be a 5-star chef pretty soon. Um, but yeah, the cake was good. All that was good, and I was going to leave here on Monday. Um, yes, on Monday because I needed to get an emissions test on my car, and that was the only time they were basically open that I'd be able to go to them. Um,
Mm.
but on Monday morning, we get an email from my from our old band director from high school, and he's just like
Boo.
he's just like um, dear blank family, my last name family, uh, would you, basically just asking if I would be able to help with the clarinets during marching season, starting tonight, pretty much. Um,
Mm.
not tonight from when we're recording this, tonight from when I'm reading that email. So like 11 hours, and it's like $20 an hour, and he's like, you know, it's only like 4 to 9 shifts. I'm like, okay,
Mm.
because I need to make some money, so. Yeah, so I did that as well this week. That's something that I started, and it's been pretty good. I mean, there's a lot more, and I know you won't agree with this because I'm not sure if we've ever talked about it on the pod, but we that our band director was a very controversial man,
It's a cunt.
um,
A
and
cunty guy. Very very cunt like.
and I disagree with that. He's very misunderstood.
It's
Um,
because you were in the good band that he fucking cherished and loved. But when we were in the bad band, quote unquote, he kind of just threw us to the side. It was like, "Fuck you guys" the whole time. So you
well,
got the good side. We got the very large bad side.
and not to get too much into it, but I think also there was a bit of a fuck you, Mister. Or I'm not gonna say his name. I almost did. But a bit of a fuck you to the band director from the lower bands as well, though. I think
Yeah, but
that
it's
was
because he treated us like that.
it could have been either one
Mm,
first. But anyways,
I don't know,
what I
man.
wanted to say is that I'm happy to say that the respect levels towards him have increased greatly since the last 4 years that we've been there.
Because
And
there's what, like 2 people in the band?
no, there's actually a lot of people in the band.
No,
It's
I heard it
it
shrunk,
it
but
did
maybe
the
they
year
got more people.
it did like the 2 years after we left, but like
Hmm.
these last 2 years, a whole bunch of people have come in. It's like maybe just slightly smaller than when we were in it senior year.
Oh, okay.
Um,
See, I didn't completely hate band. I didn't completely hate him,
Hugh should not be
but
named.
yeah, but wasn't the best.
Mm,
The other guy that was there for 3 years was the
mm,
best, and he left because of the other guy. So,
yeah.
in,
Um,
um,
but they have a new assistant director now, and he's more similar to that old assistant director. Um,
hmm,
but yeah, I mean, I think like the dynamic between directors and students is a lot better as well.
that's good.
Yeah, and that's probably partially because his children are now in band, so
Oh God,
he may have changed his image a little bit, just so
isn't that like
I thought so
can't you
too,
like?
because
I didn't
my
think you could teach your own kids.
I thought so too because my aunt is a teacher and she taught at my elementary school for two of my grades actually. It was kindergarten and second grade, I think, or third grade.
Mm.
Um, and I'm pretty sure that was like a thing. Is like she wasn't allowed to be my teacher because familial, I don't know, bias I guess. Uh, I don't know. I'm not sure, but they're both in bands, so whatever.
It's
But
crazy that they're old enough to be in high school, though.
I know,
That's
right?
disturbing.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, no, it's been going pretty good. I mean, I pretty much being a teacher for all things music wise, all things marching wise, all that. So, and he must have had to go down a very long list of people before getting to me because one, I'm not studying education in in college. Two, I'm not in marching band in college, and three, I was
Mm.
never even a section leader in high school. So like I wasn't ever teaching marching band. I wanted to
Yeah.
be senior year, but I was low key kind of robbed. But it's okay.
Yeah.
And
He went to Vince before he went to you, but Vince is like, nah.
yeah, Vince to the saxophone to March the clarinetist. Um,
Uh-huh.
um, but yeah, he must have gone down a very long list before getting to me and being like, "Hey, can you be here in 11 hours? And if not, can you tell me someone who could?" Pretty much, it's like when
And
it's
you're
starting to
like, I'm
come
not
down.
even awake yet by that time.
Well, surprisingly, I was. I think I had like a bad headache the night before, so like I went to bed really early. But
Mm.
yeah, so yeah, I've been doing that, and basically every day I've been there, it's been a little bit better. So like, I think the kids there all like me now, so doing
That's
doing
good.
doing good, and I definitely remembered a lot more techniques and stuff. But yeah, that's
Mhm.
been a lot of this week has been doing that. I've been doing like lesson plans. The schedule's way different because like when we were there, it was I think it was like 1 to 9.
Torture.
Well, I think we had 1 to 9, didn't we? Or was it 12 to 8? Something. It was like one of
It
those
was
two.
1 to 9.
1 to 9. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now this is new for this year. They're doing 4 to 9, and they're doing it over like
Oh.
more weeks. So like I think
Oh,
I think it's
gross.
I think it's like about 3 weeks or so, but they get Fridays off. I don't know. It's a weird.
The fuck?
I know it's kind of a weird schedule. But so because of that, like sectional times where I'm talking one on one with them, or not one on one, but like me and just the clarinets, like in a room doing music stuff. That's like only 30 minutes like each day.
Oh my god.
I know. Um, but like they're getting their stuff down pretty well, and it seems like they're all going to like they do like their own sectionals like before rehearsal starts as well. So
Mm.
I don't know. It's different. It's definitely different, but it seems to be working. So I don't know.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
Well, I will say that being there for an entire 8-hour shift 5 days a week
unpaid.
really brought the morale down for us. So,
That's also another factor. Yes, for sure. Um, uh,
especially as like fresh high schoolers, like
yeah,
shit, dude, that was awful.
yeah. It's a tough schedule to do. A lot of marching bands do that though. So that one I never really
Okay.
blamed on him. But I don't know. We'll see. I guess I'll. I mean, I'm not sure if I'll ever see how this season turns out. I hope for the best for them, but I'm gonna be in school by the time they're actually doing stuff. So,
What kind of show is it? Is it like themed?
yeah, it's like Rubik's Cube themed, apparently.
What the hell? Okay.
It's a little
Interesting.
weird, but like apparently they're going to have like even like the marchers may even have like separate colors and stuff. Um,
Hmm.
so like and
Okay.
there's like one move where it kind of looks like a Rubik's cube turning a little bit. But I don't know.
Color guard better have good outfits for that
Yeah.
because they could do a lot.
I think they have good outfits and they have like flags and stuff. But like there's gonna be soloists and they're gonna be mic'd. So
Oh,
technology on the marching field, fucking unheard of for our band. Um,
yeah, that's insane.
um, but yeah. So that was that. And I also got a script for a student film that I'm going to be composing for later this year. I can give more
Mm.
details once I guess that's released and stuff. But that was another big thing. Was along with listening to Green Day, I was reading a student crime noir. um,
Do you get paid
it,
for that too?
I don't think so, and that's okay because it's like two college students working with one another. So, um, but that's all right with me because I mean he's posted on like his Instagram and stuff like he's been nominated for like some things like in Europe. uh,
Oh, wow.
so like I'm not sure if those are things he applied for or what, but like I mean if he's doing shit like that, I mean that's pretty cool. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, my only other thing is that it was kind of cool. Brad Taste in Music that we talk about a lot. He posted
Who?
you know that 21 Pilots lover,
Oh,
the number one fan.
the guy that hates swans.
Yes, of course, and Death Grips. But he made like a post on album of the year for that new AJR song, and basically just said like stop this chicanery or whatever. Um, and as a Better Call Saul fan, I had to take that opportunity to make a meme because there's a whole like scene in that show where like a character goes on like basically an unhinged rant. And like he uses the word chicanery in it, and it's been memed a lot recently. So I just like did like a copy pasta of like what he says in the show, but like I replaced it with like, you know, I guess Brad Taste in Music inside jokes. So instead of not our Jimmy, couldn't be Precious Jimmy, it's like not our Bradley, couldn't be Precious Bradley. And like talking about his Igor review and stuff like that. I don't know. I thought it was pretty funny when I posted that, or I replied to his comment with that. There's a couple people in the comments after me. They're like, "Oh, goated response" or whatever. And I was like, "Oh, yeah, that's cool." And then I
Look
wake
at
up.
you.
I know. And then I wake up on like Tuesday, I think it was, or maybe Monday. Um, and I just like go to YouTube, and he posted it in the community tab on his like main channel of like a screenshot of my comment or whatever. And thankfully, a lot of people in the comments there got the joke as well. But that has like 2K like likes or something now, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. I thought that was fun. And he had a stream later that day, and I like popped it at the very beginning. I was like, hey, thanks for highlighting my comments earlier. He's like, thanks for the great. He said thanks for the great free content. It's like hell yeah. But yeah, that was kind of fun too. It was pretty cool.
Very cool.
Yeah, cool. So unless you have anything else, there's a couple new songs that came out that I
Yeah,
have found.
I was going to talk about those.
Yeah. So the first one.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's good. We had a 1975 track
Mm-hmm.
called Happiness.
Happiness. That was it. Yeah.
Kind of copying Rex Orange County there, but
A little
it's
bit.
okay.
They also copied his like not race, country.
I'm sorry.
Well, they also copied his race, but they copied.
I mean, yeah, they're both white.
They copied his country
But,
origin as well.
yeah, I'm gonna have to go after them for that. It's a little.
Is that ethnicity, right? The country you're from, or culture? Is there a word for that? I don't know.
Nationality.
Nationality. There you go.
Come on, Mike. I thought you were the geography king.
That doesn't mean
here.
I know my terminology.
You should. You
Yeah.
uneducated swine.
Wow. Okay. So speaking of that, British people, happiness.
Yeah, I liked it quite a bit.
Yeah, I thought it was good. I mean, it to me it didn't really feel like they were doing anything new that they haven't done. Like,
Right.
you know, it was the very stereotypical 1975 sound, but you know, it was good. Maddie sounded good over it. It had some cool like saxophone stuff going on,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah,
They know their sound and they do it well. You know, part of the band was a cool, interesting, different kind of track, and putting out, and it, you know, wasn't a favorite of everybody's. But you know, Happiness is sure to be a hit with their fan base who enjoy their usual sound.
yeah, and it definitely makes sense for them to do like, you know, that. I would say for them like an experimental cut as their first single, and then do something that's
Hmm.
in their normal wheelhouse for after that.
Yeah, it's like people coming out off the last album
Yeah.
first, and then whatever came out after that, that was kind
Mm.
of mid.
Yeah. Yeah. The rest of the
But you
album.
know,
I'm kidding. There's a couple other good
no,
songs
no,
on there.
yeah. Um, but no, it was. I enjoyed it quite a bit. It was nice to my ears after listening to Father of All,
Yeah.
um, which which we'll get to
Mm.
much later. But yeah, I liked it. And then we had, thank God, a better track than the last track they Panic released with Local God.
Yeah.
Very kind of similar to Viva Las Vengeance,
Yeah.
instrumental and feel wise, but it was interesting message. It feels like it's
Mm.
kind of pointed at Ryan Ross or somebody of the original Panic lineup.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought it was pretty good. I only listened to it once, and it was during the middle of a Green Day album, and
Mm.
I don't remember much of it, to be honest with you. I do remember
Yeah,
like being like, okay, I need to read these lyrics closer, but I like the sound of it. It was better than middle of a breakup. My
much
main
better.
my main thing is that for like all three of these songs, they've done like a weird key change into the chorus,
Mm.
which I thought was really cool on Viva Las Vengeance. But the fact they've done it three times now is like really it's really strange. it's like an
Yeah.
it's like an odd like thing to I don't know, but like
Uh,
I enjoyed the song. I thought it was good.
yeah.
Yeah.
I saved both of the new tracks that came out this week for after I listened to Green Day because I knew it wasn't gonna give them their full attention.
Yeah,
Um,
that's probably
and
fair.
I think that was a good call for me because listening to Local God and Happiness after all that Green Day was like a nice change of pace.
Hmm.
Um,
I just realized with your Discord profile picture, you're also kind of matching the Green Day theme this week.
oh yeah, there you go. And you're probably matching the face you were making during that whole
Yeah,
process.
during the last half, yeah. um,
Nah, Kermit's face is kind of the face I was making during Father of All, but
yeah. uh,
nah, but yeah, we'll get to it.
yeah.
But yeah, Local God was good. Album comes out in a couple weeks. We'll talk about it.
Hmm.
Um, but I don't know if there was any other news really.
Not that I know of.
Uh,
I think
did you hear
Fantano.
about?
I'm sorry.
No, no, go ahead.
I was just gonna
What about
say.
Fantano?
I think Fantano gave out a couple more tens from the '90s,
Oh,
Nirvana's "Nevermind" was one. Or no, wait, which is the one with
In
the
Utero.
no, which is the one with the baby? Is that Nevermind?
That's Nevermind.
Okay, yeah, Nirvana's "Nevermind"
The
was
baby
one.
penis.
The baby penis, yeah, that's the reason he gave it a 10. It was kind of weird, but
Jesus Christ.
uh,
It's okay. The guy's 30 now.
yeah, um, yeah, it was that. Fuck, I don't remember the others right off the top of my head. I was surprised that OK Computer wasn't one of them. Um,
Wow, that's
so
fucked up.
in his book, there are no Radiohead tens, which is a little sad. But
Wow.
what a fucking. It's probably because he has a wife, but because he's happily married. Um,
Yeah,
but
a fucking asshole.
yeah. uh, Yeah, I don't remember the other ones, but you could go look at the video if you're curious. But there's more tens to the Fantano thing. But anyways, you started a sentence. You said, "Did you know?"
Did you? Yeah, did you hear about the sequel to the Joker?
No.
Yeah, there's a Joker sequel coming out called
Oh.
Folie à Deux.
Mm.
Um, and
I didn't know
it's
they were Fall Out
good.
Boy fans.
I know, right? I was gonna say, but it comes out in 2024. It takes place mostly in Arkham Asylum, and Lady Gaga is gonna be Harley Quinn.
Interesting.
Yeah, and it's apparently gonna be a musical.
Oh, I was. Oh, well, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
At first, I was thinking my thought process was, I'm surprised they didn't get Margot Robbie again, but I forgot that that's kind of a different universe, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh.
Uh,
Well, I mean,
but yeah.
I could see the Lady Gaga thing working. Um,
Hmm.
the musical aspect, though, that could be questionable.
Yeah. No, I'm very interested
Yeah.
because I feel like all of the diehard people that say the Joker is the best movie ever made
Mhm.
are gonna be like, "This is bullshit. This is fucking awful." Um, which I think is very funny because the Joker, while being in a good movie, is far from the best movie ever made. And
It
if you
was
relate to the
very,
Joker, you need some help.
yeah. Yeah, for sure. It was very overhyped. I watched it at some point, I think this year. Um, and
Hmm.
yeah, I thought it was good, but yeah.
Hmm. Like Joaquin Phoenix does a great job,
Mm,
but um, yeah, it shouldn't be touted as like the best superhero or any or movie made in general.
yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Um, and then there was I'm just gonna make this episode even longer.
You're
But
good, you're
it's kind of
good.
off topic. But there's this. Did you hear about the whole drama with the Batgirl movie?
I didn't even know there was a Batgirl movie coming out.
Yeah, they like filmed the whole thing. It was almost ready to come out. Like you know, like Brendan Fraser was in it, and
Oh.
it, everyone was excited for it. And then all of a sudden, a couple days ago, they were like, "Yeah, movie's canceled."
Okay.
After they spent $90 million on it, and they just
Ooh.
straight up canceled it. Um,
I wonder if they
and
just.
then it.
I was
Hmm?
gonna say, I wonder if they just like realized it was really shitty and just pulled the plug or something, or I
Well,
don't know.
there's this whole thing with HBO Max and Discovery Plus. They're gonna be merging.
Okay.
Um, and WB like apparently owns a lot of that shit.
Mm.
So they were just kind of like, we're gonna make it. We're gonna make these services better for everyone. And we're gonna, go away from the scripted TV shows and stuff like that, which is a stupid call.
Said we're
Um,
doing improvised TV shows. No, I'm kidding.
yeah, no, but like they're like putting a big emphasis on like old shows, like The Big Bang Theory and Sex in the City,
Oh, my
and like
favorites.
a bunch of reality shows,
Mhm.
and like just doing away with all the really good HBO Max shows that were
Yeah.
coming out.
Yeah, I
Um,
think I was hearing that HBO Max was one of the better streaming services,
yeah,
like in
it's a
terms of
really good streaming
content.
service.
Yeah, in terms of
They have
content
like
and all that.
everything on there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just a really weird situation. A bunch of other shit was canceled. Um, but yeah, like I was looking at that throughout the week, and I was like, that's insane.
Yeah.
Along with all the Alex Jones stuff.
I very briefly heard that from people around
Yeah,
me.
yeah, he's on trial for with the Sandy Hook parents,
Mm,
because they're suing him for defamation and stuff
yeah.
like that. Um, and apparently his lawyers, quote unquote, accidentally send the entire contents of Alex Jones's phone to the opposing team.
Oh, what the fuck?
And there was some really questionable stuff on there,
Like
like
questionable is.
child pornography.
Oh, okay.
Uh huh.
Okay.
Um, and a bunch of other shit that um, really fucks him,
Yeah.
which I'm very happy for. Um, he said that, oh, if this trial is going to make me go bankrupt, but apparently he makes like $800,000 from his show on any given day,
Yeah, that
which
sounds
so that's
about right.
absolute bullshit.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, that's that's pretty insane. Fuck Alex Jones,
Yeah. Absolutely.
um, making the freaking frogs gay.
Hmm.
Um, but that was a lot of interesting news.
Yeah.
Uh, Nancy Pelosi going to Taiwan, getting China angry at the U.S.
Damn, have I just like been under a rock? I've heard like none of this stuff.
Yeah, I think you
Damn,
have.
damn.
Yeah, Nancy Pelosi went to Taiwan, even though nobody told her she had to, and everyone advised against it
Mm-hmm.
because China is not very happy
Mm-hmm.
with Taiwan, and they have been for a while. But
Yeah.
Nancy Pelosi's like, I'm a girl boss, and I'm going to go to Taiwan. Nobody's going to tell me what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, that's fun. China's getting a little upset,
Mm-hmm.
really cracking down on Taiwan right now, even though they didn't do anything.
Right. You guys welcomed an American? Hold on.
Could have just done it. Oh my god, this guy.
What's going on?
Huh?
Huh?
What? You said hold on.
Oh no, sorry. I was saying that for something. Never mind. Never mind.
Oh, you're good. Sorry. But yeah, just a big news week for a bunch of different reasons. But also a big week for our ears.
Yeah.
So we can get into the discography of famed punk band Green Day.
Yep. Each listen to 13 albums from them. I believe it's all of their studio albums. At least
Yes.
all that are available on Spotify. And yeah, for me, they were all new. Haven't listened to a single Green Day album before this. And if you've watched
For,
any, oh sorry, hold on. If you've watched any of our previous artist analysis, most notably the Fall Out Boy one, you should also know that pop punk is kind of a distant genre for me as well. it's it's really not much of what I listen to, so it was very interesting. But what's your context, Colin?
I had listened to quite a bit of Green Day. They're one of they're pretty up there on my favorite band list. But I hadn't listened to one, two, 3, 4. I don't think 6 of the albums out of
Okay,
the 13.
so about
So a
like
little
half.
less than half.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it wasn't too rough of a ride for me. But I can imagine it was quite different for you.
Yeah,
Sir.
I titled this part of my notes Kanye West Artist Analysis Payback because this is pretty much what I did to Colin in was that our second artist analysis I think.
Yeah, that was our second.
Yeah, yeah, that's pretty much what he had to go through is what was my week this week. Yeah, but
Now, careful, Mike. You, you know, if you talk shit on at least a couple of these albums, people are gonna get up here.
Well, you may be up my ass a couple times here.
Nothing new to me.
All right.
All right. So, do you want to start? Do you want me to start? What do you want to do?
Sure, I'll start. So, the first album, this is technically, I think it's even the name of the deluxe album, but it's not like marketed that way on Spotify. But I listened to the deluxe on accident. I think Colin did as well. But the first album from 1991, way back in the 90s, you got 1039 / smoothed out slappy hours. And yeah, what I said is this record is like the sound of the big local band from the 90s, like someone who just lives in your town and they have a band. But and I guess that was accurate at one point for them. But yeah, it's got that teenage angst. It's got off-key vocals. It's fast drums and rocking electric guitars. And I said, honestly, I could see these songs kicking ass live, like in a live setting. But for a studio session, very little was really all that interesting to me personally. The off-key vocals usually don't feel like an artistic choice, and more just, not really great vocals in general. And the mixing itself, I feel like brings down the project a lot because the guitars are really quiet. And so there's not really like energy. The energy feels really lost in a lot of like the final mix, and the songs aren't really all that different enough to be distinguishable from one another for a lot of it as well. I didn't hate this, but it is definitely not for me. And I said, but for a starting record, it could be a lot worse. The transitions are also surprisingly good, is what I put at the end there.
Yeah.
My favorite ones were The Judge's Daughter, I Want to Be Alone, 409 on Your Coffee Maker, Only of You, Don't Leave Me, and At the Library. My least favorites were Road to Acceptance, Knowledge, Rest, and I Was There. And overall, I gave it like a decent 5.
Decent 5, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, this is the first one I hadn't listened to. This is like their first kind of foray into an album. But even without the extra tracks, it's pretty lengthy, like the album here. They've always had this kind of sound down. I feel like they came out the bat with that punky Green Day feel, and they've kept it throughout their years. Couple of shaky singing moments, but that's just good old Billy Joe. And I said overall a fairly solid debut. It's not the best Green Day album I've heard, but I didn't really expect it to be. They had the sound they were going for down within the first project, and I think I had a pretty okay time. My favorites were Disappearing Boy. I liked Rest from what I remember. Dry Ice and The One I Won't, I think. Where's that?
I don't know.
Yeah, The One I Want. Not Won't. And I didn't like 16 and Knowledge, I guess. And I gave it a light 7.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. And for context, pretty much for all of these, except for maybe some of the ones in the last few albums, since I listened to them last night, I don't fucking remember what pretty much any of these songs sound like. Especially if they're, unless I really hated it or if I really thought it was notable, I don't remember much of these. So,
which is fair.
Yeah. A lot of similar content amongst these albums. But yeah, cool. So the next album, Kerplunk, or sorry, you go next for the next one. My bad.
Yeah. The second album I hadn't listened to was Kerplunk. Came out in 1992. I said interesting to hear Welcome to Paradise here because that will come again next album. Still got that classic Green Day sound. Nothing extremely special about this one, I said. And overall, this is the album that came out before they quote unquote sold out, and I'm kind of glad they did. While I think the indie sound works to an extent, I enjoy a Green Day with their production, with the with higher production quality. This album's all right. There's stuff I like and stuff I don't, but I guess it kind of leads further towards Dookie. So, it was pretty okay. I didn't like it as much as 39 Smooth. But I liked No One Knows, Android, 2000 Light Years Away, and Welcome to Paradise. And I didn't like Dominated Love Slave. That was a bad song.
Yeah.
And I gave it a late to decent 6.
Okay. I didn't even realize until you said it at the very beginning there that Welcome to Paradise is on both of these albums. Yeah. Is it like an early version or is it like pretty much the same exact version? Okay.
It's the same song. It's the same song, but just like with less like bad production.
Gotcha. Yeah, I find that funny that I literally did not even notice that, but okay. Yeah, Kerplunk. I said this album is giving me mixed signals. It starts off pretty bland and like a slightly better version than their debut album for me.
Okay.
But we also get the worst track yet with Dominated Love Slave, and I put what the fuck was that? I put what the fuck was that in quotes after that. But I don't exactly remember. I think he sang with like a really bad like Southern accent or something.
Yeah.
It was really weird. I don't know what the hell that was. But then we get a chain of my favorite tracks so far, but none of them
Hmm.
I actually love. Uh, said, and then there's a literal dip in production quality towards the last few tracks.
Yeah.
There's a few I disliked on here, and there's a few I thought were good, and then a whole lot that did absolutely nothing for me. But I definitely listened to it, and I said the song "My Generation" just straight up sounds like an early like version of American Idiot, but like
Mm.
badly improvised. Like I don't exactly remember what it sounds like, but like I think the melody was really similar on this one. Uh, I don't know. It like kind of caught me off guard. It was a little weird. But my favorites here were 80, Android, No One Knows, Welcome to Paradise, and Who Wrote Cold Caulfield. And my least favorites were Dominated Love Slave by quite a bit, Strangeland, One of My Lies, Sweet Children, My Generation, and 2000 Light Years Away. And overall,
Mm.
I gave it a light 6.
Fair, fair. All
Yeah.
right.
All
Be
right.
careful, Mike.
Yeah. So then we go into 1994 with Dookie, which is an album I have heard of before, and probably the one I would have checked out from them had it not been for this artist analysis. Um, but
Mm.
yeah, I put finally some good fucking music.
There we go.
I said this is the first full record where I think it was produced well, which is great because it also has had the most interesting songs so far. There were some sick switch ups, some lyrics that I actually found kind of funny, and some of the first songs that I legitimately liked and would probably return to. In fact, the first half of this album is really, really solid. It slips a bit for me personally in the second half. The songs become a lot less interesting, and they sound more like work on their first two albums. But the production is much more suited for them, so that they kind of just turn out to be fine a little bit. Instead of being badly produced and also okay songs, so then they're just whatever. So they're just fine. But I see the appeal here, and it's definitely the best purely pop punk record I have heard. Um,
Mhm.
and for my best, I have Basket Case. That was pretty good. Long View, Welcome to Paradise, Chump, Having a Blast, and When I Come Around. And my least favorites were All by Myself, Pulling Teeth, Sassafras Roots, and Coming Clean. And overall, I gave it like a light 8.
All right. That's what I'm talking about, Mike. Um, yeah. First note I said was now that's what I call Green Day. Banger on banger. I said, "Oh hello again, welcome to paradise," and it's so classic. And overall, I said, I mean, what can I say about Dookie that hasn't already been said? This thing is a classic. I have almost, I like, I said I love almost everything off here, and I totally get why this is so many people's favorite out of their discography. It's just such a fun time to listen along with, and yeah, it's a fun car album as well.
I think a lot of their
So
music
yeah.
would be better suited for cars and stuff. Yeah.
It's just nice, fast paced punk rock. But yeah, it's a classic, man. I can't say much about it that hasn't already been said, but it's just it definitely wasn't my first Green Day record, but that's the only. No, actually, my dad hates this record, uh, um, which I don't understand because it's very fun. Uh, but my favorites were Longview, Basket Case, She, When I Come Around, Chump, Welcome to Paradise, and Pulling Teeth. And I did not like All by Myself, and I give it a decent 9.
All right. All right.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
Then we get into Insomniac in 1995 with some really good album art. Uh,
That's probably
Dookie and this one both have really good album art.
yeah. But Insomniac is probably my favorite album art that they have in their discography.
Yeah,
It's pretty cool.
no, it's fair. Like I didn't really see it until we went to the record store and it was on vinyl.
Mm.
But yeah, I've liked it ever since seeing that. I said it's kind of disappointing after Dookie, but it's still all right. There's still some bangers. So overall, to be honest, my full attention wasn't given to this one. I was driving, and I've never listened to it. I hadn't listened to it before, so it didn't really fully sink in, and I didn't give it another listen because I was just like so far behind by the time I was writing all this shit down. But I can tell you that it's all right. It's not as good as Dookie, but it's hard to be. It's hard to do so. So I get it. There are some classic Green Day tracks on here too, so I can't complain too heavily. I liked Brain Stew, Jaded, Geek Stink Breath, Stuck With Me in '86, and I didn't like Babsy Vala Who. So I gave it like a light 7.
All right. Yeah, I start this one off with saying, man, am I just going to hear the same songs for 13 albums? And I'm not going to further comment on that. But I said, like, their sound has improved a bit starting with the last record, but Jesus, this feels like the exact same stuff that they've been doing. I know some future records have more ballad moments, so something's got to give at some point. But
Yeah.
damn. I said, also, this album and their first two are setting a pattern of having really bland first legs and last legs, but the stuff in the middle is the most interesting. Not with Dookie. Dookie was different, but the rest of them have had that formula. I said, like, seriously, this album accidentally looped for me, and I legitimately didn't notice until Brat came back on and his annoying vocal inflection came back. So I didn't even notice that I heard the same song twice. And once again, Welcome to Paradise, I did not realize I heard twice. But I said, yeah, I don't know. This album is fine. I didn't like hate anything here, and there were some highlights. And I put 9 more to go for albums. But I put also Walking Contradiction is literally just American Idiot, but a little slower. um, like, forgive me, I know that song has not come out yet, but the fact that I feel like I've heard 2 to 3 early versions of it is really telling to how samey these songs are to me. It's not a bad thing that they're samey per se, but when I'm not really a huge fan of the sound in the first place, I left it off on 3 dots right there. So, but yeah, my favorites were Geek Stink Breath, Brain Stew, Panic Song, and No Pride. And my least favorites were Bratz, Walking Contradiction, and Armitage Shanks. And overall, I give it like a strong 6. It was whatever, but it was mostly fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nuts.
Cool. Then we move into 1997 with Nimrod. And I said, I think it says a lot about my feelings on Green Day when the purely instrumental track is one of my favorites. But that being said, I think this is my favorite Green Day record yet in terms of variation. While there are a couple tracks where their experiments don't land, and the highs of this album aren't quite as high as Dookie, there's still quite a few notable tracks on here for me. I enjoyed quite a bit of this record, and there was really only one song that I considered to be a low point, which is King for a Day. And it's not really the horns on that track. I think the horns are actually really interesting, but the chorus is just really fucking annoying. So it brings the whole song down for me. And the more that I'm listening to these albums, the more I'm realizing that I'm just not really a big fan of Billy's vocals, like half of the time. It's good sometimes, but I really find him to be really annoying on a lot of these songs. I just don't like that. I don't like that pop punk inflection. But other than that realization during this record, I mostly left it with a positive attitude. I liked quite a bit on here. So my favorites were Hitchin' a Ride, Good Riddance, Time of Your Life, Last Ride In, Redundant, Platypus, I Hate You, Hoshinka, and Take Back. And my least favorites were King for a Day, The Grouch, and Walking Alone. And overall, I give it like a strong 7. I thought it was pretty good.
Good. Yeah, this is actually one of my higher, like one of the Green Day records that are higher on my list. I really like this one. So yeah, I said, there you go. Now you got it, boys. So this is another classic Green Day album. And of course, who could forget Good Riddance? Yeah, I said overall, I got back in the groove after a little loss with Insomniac. I mean, I really don't know what happened because all these albums came out within a year of each other, uh, which I can't imagine is easy, but that is also I think something that a lot of bands did back
Mm-hmm.
in the day. Um, but yeah, it must have been something with like the record deal or something like that, where they had to make an album a year. But I can't imagine that was easy for them. So yeah, Insomniac kind of lost it for me, but Nimrod really brings it back. Yeah, there's a lot of classics on this album, and it's yeah, it's just one of my favorite Green Day records. Super solid. Um, uh, I like Platypus, I Hate You, Nice Guys Finish Last, Hitchin' a Ride, Worry Rock, and Good Riddance. I didn't really dislike any, and I give it a light 9.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah. But yeah, then we get to we take a little 3-year break in between this one and Warning, which came out in 2000. This is another one that I hadn't listened to fully before. I've heard a lot of the songs off of it, but I don't think I'd ever heard it completely all the way through before going through their discography. But yeah, it's a really good start with Warning. The title track, I love that song. It's a classic Green Day track. I love a lot of the slower stuff on here. It's a big change of pace from their previous five records. Yeah, 5 records. And yeah, it's like it really is like the biggest precursor to like the rest of their career here, especially to like American Idiot. But yeah, this is like what they'll sound like for the rest of their albums up to their most recent, for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not upset with it. But yeah, I said overall I hadn't listened to this one all the way through before. Okay, I guess I hadn't listened to it. I'm kind of sad that I didn't, though. There are, again, even more classic tracks on here. It's honestly really damn solid, too. I don't know if it's my bias. I don't know if it's the bias I have towards Green Day, but I honestly love this album. My favorites are Warning, Minority, Blood, Sex, and Booze, Church on Sunday, and Castaway. And I didn't like Fashion Victim, but I give it a light 9 as well.
All right. And this is where our opinions split a little bit.
Okay.
I said this album doesn't have as many lows as previous ones from Green Day, but it also really does not have many highs for me either. There's songs I liked more than others, but I only ended up actually enjoying one track. It was really in one ear and out the other for most of this, but in a slightly positive way. But just like most of Green Day, it's not really for me. That's pretty much all I wrote for this one. But my favorites are Macy's Day Parade. I actually did like that one quite a bit. And then some other tracks that I thought had good moments at least were Blood, Sex, and Booze, Fashion Victim, and Waiting. And my least favorites were Hold On, Warning, Deadbeat Holiday, Minority, and Jackass.
You didn't like Warning?
I didn't. You said that was the opening track?
Yeah.
For quite a bit of time, actually up until American Idiot, I did not really like any of their opening tracks. I thought they weren't that good. I don't know.
Warning is so good.
I
Come on, Mike.
Once again, I couldn't fucking tell you what it sounds like. I have no idea.
Warning, live without warning. You know.
Bro, you just sang something from all 13 albums. But yeah, I don't know. But overall, I give this one like a light 6. I wasn't a big fan of it.
Boo. Okay. Now again, be careful, Mike.
All right. This is the one I wrote the most for. I wrote the most for this one. Right. American Idiot, 2004. I put, this is interesting to me. Just as an FYI, I'm aware that there is a concept record happening here, but I admittedly have not looked into it at all. So I don't know any of that stuff. So none of my critiques have to do with lyrical content. When American Idiot is working, it works really well. This is their best produced record yet, I would argue, as it really feels like a rock concert when it's kicked into high gear. And it also feels sweet when it's in its quieter moments. I think Billy's voice works slightly better here than on previous albums, but I still am not huge on it the whole time. And there are a few classic tracks on here, arguably their biggest tracks ever. My issues with this album lie within the lengths of the songs. Prior to this, their average track length was maybe about like 3 minutes on the dot. And the longest track was on their last album, and it was like 5 minutes, which felt very surprisingly long for them. And this album has two 9-minute epics, tracks conjoined with one another, and solo tracks that are about 4 minutes in average length, which is about an extra minute than before. And don't get me wrong, I like me some long songs when they're done well, but I find a lot of these songs to just kind of come across as scatterbrained ideas, where some of them are pretty cool, but other ideas are really uninteresting, and just they kind of meet in the middle and make the songs a little uninteresting as a whole to me. It feels unintentionally ADHD, and it never really settles into its strengths for a satisfying amount of time to make the track length worthy for me personally. Songs also fall into the trap of going on too long and being a little too repetitive. And also the song. Oh, hello? Did he just leave? Hello? Oh, no, he turned on the camera. Hello. I thought you left for a second there. Well, there's some Colin
fuck
footage
you, Mike.
for you all. And the song Homecoming feels like it somehow does both problems of being going on too long and also having not going into their strengths for long enough. The long songs feel like forced long songs. They feel like 3 2-minute songs, like forcefully mashed together rather than a natural progression. I've talked negatively for a bit, I know, even though I do feel positive on this album as a whole, but I felt like I needed to explain why I wasn't super into it the whole time. But yeah, the album is good. It has great moments, but it's never consistent enough for me to fully enjoy it, me personally. My favorites were Letter Bomb, Wake Me Up When September Ends, What's Her Name, American Idiot, Give Me Novocaine, and Boulevard of Broken Dreams. And my least favorites were Homecoming, that was a 9-minute song that I didn't really find any enjoyment in personally. Or actually, there was like one part in the middle that like didn't go on for long enough. Are We the Waiting, Saint Jimmy, She's a Rebel, and Extraordinary Girl. And overall, I'd give this one like a light 7 for me personally. There?
Gonna let you sit in that for a second. No, I understand why it's not your thing. I get it. It's just this album is like it's like my quintessential childhood kind of album here. So yeah. I have a lot of nostalgia for it. I'm gonna gush a lot.
Go for it.
But yeah, I said, y'all ready for me to gush? I said, I'm such a slut for a concept, and banger after banger. Yeah, I said, overall, this is the album I have the most nostalgia and bias towards. However, even without that, this album still rules. I love the concept. I love the double tracks. And there's a lot of good transitions. I can totally see why and how it was made into a Broadway musical. Sorry. And I fucking love this album. I think that, personally, I enjoy the really long tracks like Jesus of Suburbia and Homecoming. I think Homecoming kind of melding a bunch of different styles together was really interesting. And yeah, I just, the double tracks, I understand why they were a little weird for you, but, I think it, I enjoyed it, but yeah, I love this album. It's it was, I've said it before, but this is like this was what I considered my favorite album before my like music taste like evolved, and it's still really up there for me. I still give it a 10. I like every track off here, but my favorites were Jesus of Suburbia, Give Me Novocaine, Extraordinary Girl / Letter Bomb, What's Her Name, Wake Me Up When September Ends, and Homecoming. I don't dislike any of them, but yeah, it's still one of my 10s. purely probably based off of my nostalgia and
Yeah.
bias. But yeah, I love this record a lot. So
Man, that happens. I mean, I think Pretty Odd for me is a 10 largely based off of some nostalgia reasons as well. So
yeah,
it happens, it happens. But yeah, I mean,
I know
I
it's
totally get that this is I get why people would like this one.
hmm
And I do like it. I shouldn't say I'm talking about it like I dislike
yeah.
it, but
No, yeah, I can definitely see why it's not everyone's cup of tea too. It's like
yeah.
this is just my childhood right here. It's
Yeah.
like the yeah, it's just one of those times where I can't take off the nostalgia goggles are kind of welded to my face
Yeah.
um and ears. But yeah, I just love that record a lot.
Cool.
And it was after a 4-year break, which was their longest one up to that point.
Mhm.
But
That-
yeah, and then we get into another concept record that came out 5 years after the fact,
Oh,
after American Idiot, um, 21st Century Breakdown. And I also love this album. It's very fun throughout. I like the concept a lot. Um, yeah, I have some nostalgia for this one as well, obviously. Not everything is classic like American Idiot, but it's still super solid. I said, overall, look, man, I don't know what it is, but I love this one too. I don't think it's as good as American Idiot. Uh, and in a way, it's like the spiritual successor to it, but it definitely stands on its own. I'm a sucker for a concept, and and this is no exception. The story of Christian and Gloria is a good one, and I just love this album. But my favorites were Last Night on Earth, Murder City, Before the Lobotomy, Viva La Gloria, and 21 Guns. Um, I didn't I didn't like dislike these songs really. They were just like not my favorites. There were East Jesus Nowhere and Horses and Hand Grenades. I still like them, but they're just not on my favorites. And I give it a strong 8.
cool. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, 21st Century Breakdown. I said this album undeniably has some fucking bangers. There's really cool stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There's really cool stuff on here. Even my favorite Billy Joe Armstrong vocal performances thus far. I really liked his vocals on Horseshoes and Hand Grenades and 21 Guns. I wish he
Mm-hmm.
sounded that engaged with the music more often, like that connected with the sound that's going on. Like that just felt like those were the natural vocals I was supposed to go over those songs, and I liked it quite a bit there. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but the tracks that bang have really interesting parts with intriguing instrumentation, appropriate song developments, and even dip into 7/8 on one song, which by heart will always appreciate. Some odd time signatures. Um, but these positive aspects apply to roughly 7 songs on this 17-song album. Pretty much everything else felt really bland to me, and like it has previously, it felt like, or not, and not like it has previously. It felt a little more watered down to the point where it was almost soulless and just kind of thrown together. I felt like, I don't know, nothing was like bad, but man, it honestly just has significant dips in quality for me personally.
Fair.
Maybe the formula is just getting extra stale to me now. But I really felt like they didn't care about half these songs, and not in the fun, punky kind of way. Um,
Mm.
my favorites were Last Night on Earth. I thought Horseshoes and Hand Grenades kind of kicked ass. That's like the only
That's
time.
fair.
That's the only time where I found him going like "fuck you" or whatever was like actually not that cringy. Um, uh, bef-
Mm-hmm.
Before the Lobotomy, 21st Century Breakdown, 21 Guns, and Restless Heart Syndrome. And my least favorites were East Jesus Nowhere, American Eulogy, Last of the American Girls, Peacemaker, Know Your Enemy, and Christian's Inferno. And overall, I'd give it like a strong 6.
Yeah. I kind of feel with that album they were just trying to make another American Idiot,
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
which is completely fair because it was like their biggest success. Obviously, they had like I said, they had a fucking Broadway musical made out of it.
Mhm.
Um, and I think they do kind of thrive in a more, in my opinion, they kind of thrive more in a concept way. Um, because I love these past few records, but yeah, they were trying to go for another American Idiot, and they didn't quite get there, which is it's fine, and it's kind of hard to do that twice.
Yeah.
But that's fair. I completely understand why you'd have some of those thoughts on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I enjoyed my time with it a lot, and like I said, I have a lot of nostalgia for this one as well. So
For sure.
completely
And
fair.
yeah, yeah, I think nostalgia is like a legitimate reason to like albums, you know. I don't,
Yeah.
some people will disagree with that, but I don't think you necessarily need to remove those goggles or anything. Or for you, I guess like surgically remove them from your face since they're welded there, you said.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're welded. I don't know. But yeah, yeah, I mean, I'm not disliking him yet. But okay, then from our 5 year time gap, we jump 6 years in the future. No, just kidding. I can do math. What am I
Just
saying?
3 years in the
We
future.
jump 3 years into the future. And we start a trilogy of Uno, Dos, and Tre, which are all separate albums, all album length. And
Yeah. Yeah.
they were
Yeah.
all released within a month of each other. And yeah, so starting with Uno 2012, I said, oh no, these choruses are these choruses are getting bad, bad. I never really paid too much attention to the lyrics before, but now it's really blatant with its fuck you, you stupid motherfucker. I'm rebellious. And it's
They've
so
always been like that.
they have, but it's extra lame here. Like it sounds so lame.
No.
He sounds like an edgy 15-year-old, and they were literally 40 years old at this point. It's kind of embarrassing to me. I don't know. 40-year-olds talking about
Yeah.
someone being their sweet 16 is also a little questionable.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
the music is basically the same as it has been for the last 8 albums. Jesus in parentheses. But now it feels so trendy with claps and woos type things all over the place. And
Yeah.
as someone who didn't really like the sound before, I like it even less now. And I have at least 2 more of these to go because I doubt the other 2 in this series are much different. I'm keeping an open mind, but yuck, this is the stuff I like the least from them. My favorites
Yeah.
were Nuclear Family. I thought that was the only like really good song on the album, but I think I like something about Stay the Night as well. And my least
Hmm.
favorites were Kill the DJ, Troublemaker, Carpe Diem, Rusty James, and Let Yourself Go. And overall, I gave this a strong 3.
Mm.
Yeah.
No, that's very fair. Yeah, this is the only one I'd listened to all the way through on the trilogy. But yeah, so here we go. It's definitely a drop in quality, but I don't actively hate it really. It's just it's not god awful. It's just very samey throughout. Uh, yeah, I said overall I like the idea of the 3 albums, but if this is how all of them sound, I'm not super looking forward to it.
That's how I
Like I
was having
said,
those feelings too.
yeah. Um, like I said, I don't hate it. It's just kind of there, and I don't have a lot to say about it. I've always had a very, I've had this, I've had a thing for Kill the DJ. I don't know. There's something about it that I like a lot. I know a lot of people hate it, but there's something about it that I enjoy for some reason. Um, I like Nuclear Family, Loss of Control, and Sweet 16. Not the fact that he was 40 years old talking about a Sweet 16. I
Mm.
just like the sound of it. Uh, I didn't like Troublemaker, Fell for You, or Angel Blue, and I gave it a light to decent 5.
All right.
Yeah, and I mean, jump a couple months to Dose. I said I already like this better than Uno. A lot of love songs on here. I'm assuming this is going to be the best out of the 3. That was my thought while listening to this one. Said yeah, but overall I said yeah, this one is easily better than Uno. And though I liked it, there are certainly issues. The songs were kind of samey again, but not. I don't really agree with this anymore. They were pretty samey throughout, but I liked it a lot. I liked a lot of the instrumentals, and Billy's voice sounded pretty good on a few tracks. I'm a sucker for the slower love ballad kind of things. So a few of the songs really caught my attention. Pretty good album though. Also, Night of My Life, I said here, was kind of a weird Gorillaz type thing they were going for. I don't think they did it well. Um, I wasn't. Yeah, I saw when we picked Green Day off the wheel. Well, we didn't pick it; it was picked for us. But and you saw the the second track off this album was "Fuck Time."
Yep.
I was a little worried about that track, but I actually ended up kind of enjoying it because it was just so fucking stupid. But I liked Wild One, Stray Heart, Ashley, Amy, and Fuck Time. I didn't like Nightlife, Lady Cobra, or Makeout Party, and I give it a decent to kind of strong 6 for me.
All right. This one was a little rough for me.
Okay, no, that's fair.
Yeah. The first thing I put is "Fuck Time" might be the worst opening track I've ever heard on an album. Just period. I know it's tongue in cheek. I know it's supposed to be.
It's so fucking stupid.
It is stupid, but like it's stupid in a way that I don't find enjoyment.
Okay.
Like I know it's not supposed to be serious, but oh my god. Yeah, like I said, like if I didn't have an obligation to listen to these albums, I would have turned it off right at the first chorus in "Fuck Time." And yet there's moments on here that are even worse. The best songs here, the couple that I found enjoyment in are mediocre at best. And the worst moments have been my hardest moments in artist analysis yet. Maybe I've consumed too much of the GreeN in too short of a time frame. This much GreeN has not been cleared for human consumption. When I sleep, all I hear is GreeN. Billy Joe's grating emo vocal inflection reverberates through the caverns of my ear canal, even when nothing is playing. Even when I feel turned on, a moment of my life that should feel euphoric is just soundtracked by "Fuck Time." But
that's my favorite. That's the top song on my sex playlist. Actually, is "Fuck Time" by Green Day.
It's the first one. Yeah, but the end is in sight.
The only song, actually.
It's just on repeat. There's like 15 of them in a row.
That's very nice, Mike. 15.
What?
I mean, I know the song is only 2 minutes long, but
oh yeah,
15 is very generous of you.
How about you have other songs in there? So like you have like "Let's Get It On" Marvin Gaye, but then after that's "Fuck Time," and then you get another song, and then after that it's "Fuck Time." every other song.
Oh, it's really funny. That's a really funny idea.
But I said the end is in sight. The end is in sight. The GreeN is as strong as ever, but I can feel it slowly melting away. It's like a Band-Aid being removed at the slowest possible time interval, and I can feel each individual body hair being tugged until it's plucked from my skin, but the Band-Aid is nearly off. I'm almost free. And that was my review of Dose. My favorites, like I said, I thought these were all mediocre at best, were Lazy Bones, Amy, and Stray Heart. And my least favorites were Nightlife. That song was really bad. Fuck Time, Lady Cobra, Wild One, and Ashley. And overall, I gave this a decent 2. Matching the title of the album.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Okay. Get into Trey then.
Yeah. Yep.
Take a month break and get into Trey.
Last night when we were texting, I kind of subtly hinted I needed to take a break after Dose before getting into Trey. But yeah, now into Trey, 2012. And I said I'm a little confused why Trey is rated as low as it is on Album of the Year, because for me, this was by far the best album of the threequel trilogy. It's like rated almost as low as Dose, and it's rated lower than Udo. It's like a 40.
That is very weird.
Like a 44 or something, I think it is. I don't know. But I don't know. I thought it was the best of them for sure. First off, there was only a few songs I really didn't enjoy too much. One of them being 6 minutes long. But the rest of the album was mostly fine. And let me be clear, the moments that were fine in the previous two installments were the best tracks. But since most of them are fine here, that's an improvement. I actually think that a lot of these songs, at the very least, felt thought out and like they have a good amount of detail to their compositions and instrumentation. It helps that the album
Mm.
opens and closes with what I would consider to be good songs, with Brutal Love opening it and The Forgotten closing it. I thought both of those were pretty good. And there was a decent pace to the record as well. But at the end of the
Mm.
day, I still don't find myself wanting to come back to very many of these songs, and my positivity likely stems from how much I dislike the previous two albums. So while there's a
Mm.
lot of issues here, I still found it to be pretty listenable at best. My favorites were Brutal Love, The Forgotten, X Kid, and Amanda. And my least favorites were Dirty Rotten Bastards, Drama Queen, 99 Revolutions, and A Little Boy Named Train. And overall, I'd give this one
Mm.
like a strong 5.
Okay. Yeah. Um, yeah. No, I definitely thought that Dose would be better than this one. I don't know why, because when I started listening to this one, I instantly rethought that. This is actually like a pretty solid Green Day record. Um, Hold on, gotta write something down here. But yeah, pretty good mix of faster to ballad-like songs. I said maybe I underestimated this one. I said overall, yeah. I said, I honestly thought that Dose would be the best of the three, but Trey really brought it. I enjoyed this one a lot more than I thought I would, and it was a good way to end the threequel. While I love the ballad type songs, there could have been more fast paced ones, but that's just me. I liked Missing You, Brutal Love, X Kid, Amanda, The Forgotten, and the 99 Revolutions. I didn't like Dirty Rotten Bastards, Sex, Drugs, and Violence, or A Little Boy Named Train. And I gave it like I don't know why I gave it a strong 7, but I gave it a strong 7. So here we are.
All right. It's canon now.
It's canon.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Green Day was just kind of clouding my mind as it was yours, and I just kind of like,
Mm-hmm.
I also have a liking for punk rock, so it makes sense.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, and then we take another 4-year break, and we get into Revolution Radio, which I start with the note of it's kind of like a modern American Idiot in the way it talks about politics. I don't love everything here, but it's a return to form for the band. And some of these lyrics are very dumb, I said.
Mm-hmm.
I said, yeah, but overall, I said this album's all right. I remember liking it a lot more than I do now when it came out, but there's still stuff out here that I do enjoy. Like I said, it's a return to form after the trilogy, and another 4-year break. This album deals with modern American issues, just like American Idiot did, but without a solid concept, while sprinkling in some cheesy love songs and the want for old times to come back, which is a lot of what Green Day talks about, because they don't like, at least Billy doesn't like how life is now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's a pretty basic Green Day album, and it's pretty alright. My favorites were Bang Bang, Still Breathing, Revolution Radio, Forever Now, and Ordinary World. Ordinary World, I just learned last night, was written for a movie of the same name.
Oh.
And it was just kind of stapled on the end of the album, which I thought was weird because Forever Now it really feels like a final track, but Ordinary World was just kind of like, yeah, fuck it, we'll throw it on there.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't like Young Blood or Too Dumb to Die, and I gave it a decent 6.
All right. Cool. Yeah, Revolution Radio. I said the end is in sight. Only one more after this one. Revolution Radio is probably my favorite sounding Green Day record so far. I'd say less than half of this album would fall under punk rock, and they instead experiment
Right.
with like arena rock, pop rock, and even a little like singer-songwriter cut towards the end, which I think was Ordinary World. Um,
Mm.
and I like that track quite a bit. But now it is pretty clear that now it is pretty clear that this album was begging for a hit song. Between mainstream pop sounding Still Breathing, which I admittedly enjoyed that song, and the arena rock songs that sound like they're written for either sports events background or for Ford truck commercials,
Yeah.
they really wanted something to pop off here. But at the same time, I think the production really saves these songs. They're definitely pandery. They're pandering towards audiences, but there's actually quite a bit of energy packed into like the drums sound huge on this album, and the guitars sound really heavy as well. And I think that works pretty well in his favor. The tracks tend to fall short though when their instrumentation isn't really all that interesting, and the lyrics, which are more at the forefront than other Green Day projects, at least they were to me, they're noticeably surface level throughout. And the second half of the album tends to have these uninteresting cuts, with the exception of the last track, but I guess now that you said that before, that the last track was kind of just tacked on in the first place. So,
Yeah.
but and while I still didn't like the 6 minute epic on this album, Outlaws is the first 5 minute song from them that I've actually thoroughly enjoyed. Um,
Oh.
and that's because it felt like it was always supposed to be a 5 minute song. It didn't feel like unnaturally, I don't know, like extended, like a lot of their stuff does for me. So yeah, this album has ups and downs, but honestly, if they followed the ups on this album for an entire project, it would probably be my favorite thing from them. And then I put as the last note, it's time to progress past punk rock. um, and my favorites were Outlaws, Bang Bang, Ordinary World, and Still Breathing. And my least favorites were Young Blood, Bouncing Off the Wall, Too Dumb to Die, Say Goodbye, and Forever Now. And overall, I also gave it a decent 6.
Cool.
This is the
All right,
second.
Mike.
This is the second one we've agreed on. Just
Yeah. No, I was kind of expecting. But yeah, let's hear what you think of
all
their
right.
hit record.
4 years later, 2020. 2020, everyone's favorite year. And
This is what caused COVID, I think.
I think so. I think so. This is father of all motherfuckers. If you see it on streaming services, there's a disgusting fucking unicorn on the front of it, and it's blocking the motherfuckers part. I don't know. But I started it off pretty predictable, but it's funny. No features, no Swedish songwriters, no trap beats, just 100% pure uncut cock. And maybe it could have used some of those things, honestly, is what I put after that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of copium amongst Green Day fans surrounding this record. And by that, I mean there's like a lot of theories and hubbub claiming that this record is a fuck you to the record label for making them drop something. It's them trying to get out of a record deal or something. But I saw someone said that in a comment section of a reactor named John Denton, which I like watching quite a bit. And he responded pretty well. He said, if that's the case, it's more of a fuck you to the fans for putting out this garbage on purpose, which I totally agree with. No matter what, this album is trash. And while I could usually find songs on their other records that were just fine, here it's just a few moments within songs that are all right. And while other parts are shit during that same song. It's completely sellouts, but I don't know who the fuck they are selling out to because no one wants to hear a 50-year-old brat talking about meeting on a roof and not having fucked the prom queen. Like seriously, who the fuck is this for? If this wasn't made by Green Day, this would have gotten no attention. The drums sound fucking awful. The production choices of random electronic interjections are horribly out of place. Billy Joe's vocals are so weirdly mixed and performed, and nobody working on this project sounds like they care. Because they don't. And guess what? It fucking sucks. And who would have thought? This album is literally for nobody. My favorite aspect of it is that it is their shortest album by far. But it honestly just felt just as long. And my favorites were Take the Money and Crawl, kind of, and Father of All, kind of.
Hmm.
I think I just kind of liked the choruses on those songs. I don't even remember.
Yeah.
My least favorites were, I just kept adding to this list, but my least favorites were I Was a Teenager, Fire Ready Aim, Stab You in the Heart, Oh Yeah, and Meet Me on the Roof. And overall, I gave this a light 1.
Ooh.
Found very little enjoyment in this. Huh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Glad you got that off your chest.
Me too.
Uh, but yeah, this was Father of All. I said, let's go. 30 minutes of pure uncut rock.
Mhm.
Honestly, doesn't start off too bad with Father of All, but gets bad really fucking quick afterwards. I said, yeah, overall, I honestly don't know what Uno Dos and Trey were thinking with this one. But whatever it was, I hope they don't think of it again with the
Sorry,
next album.
I didn't get the joke at first. That's good.
Yeah, I said I'm glad it's short because this album is rough. It's just uh, it's just really tacky feeling, and it was a disappointment to get this when it was hyped up so much by the band. It just feels like a fucking shell of what Green Day was, what they used to be. But yeah, it was just super disappointing, and I dislike this record quite a bit. I liked Father of All and Graffitia. I didn't like I Was a Teenager. That's one of the worst Green Day tracks ever made.
Yeah.
Meet Me on the Roof and Junkies on High and Oh Yeah. And I gave it a decent one.
Oh,
So,
damn. All right. Well, I guess we agreed again.
yeah. Yeah. No, this record blows.
Yeah.
It's very sad. But,
Yeah.
yeah. Overall thoughts over the band. Green Day is a legendary group, and while they've had a few stinkers, I can say that I still love them. From their indie days to their most recent endeavors up to 2016. I can totally see this not being everyone's cup of tea, and that's all right. But you gotta admit, there are some serious fucking bangers throughout their discography. This is another artist analysis that'll be completely irrelevant as they're supposed to drop another album this year.
Yep.
But that's okay. I'm just hoping that it's better than Father of All. And yeah, you can go over your overall thoughts before we go into our ranking of the albums here. But
Okay. Yeah, I kind of wrote a little bit here, just so you know.
Yeah.
But overall thoughts. I said I'm happy that we ended up doing this one over the summer because this would have been very rough. This would have been very rough if I was
Yeah.
following school schedule as well. I won't lie, this was a lot. 13 new albums of a genre I personally don't connect with, along with an artist that has never really clicked with me either. And I really did give each of these albums a fair chance, which is, that's why I think the proof is in the pudding there with my transition between hating Dose and actually liking Trey. I tried
Mm-hmm.
my best to really go in with an open mind with each album. And I tried to capture the feeling that others get from their music, but I can confidently say it now. I don't like Green Day. I just don't. They have classic songs and even a couple classic albums, but the bad overshadows the good for me. I'm not huge on the pop punk sound. I don't like Billy Joe's vocals half the time, and I didn't like a single one of their multi-sectional epics that they're somewhat known for. And the amount of songs that I would legitimately return to from these 13 albums would probably make up about 2 albums worth of content, if that. Um,
God damn.
it's just how I personally felt. And
Oh
aside
yeah.
aside from a couple of these albums, don't think any of them are inherently bad. For me, it really all comes down to I don't like pop punk. The sound just does nothing
Right.
for me unless I like the personality of the person singing it. And that's just not really the case with Green Day and I. We don't connect, and that's okay. I'm glad I took this journey because now I can be more confident in my opinions on this classic band. Um, And as for their future, I hope they get off that record deal or whatever, because we don't need another Father of All in their discography. But I also hope that they free themselves so that they can actually experiment with a whole record instead of just moments and other ones. I think the trilogy taught them that they've wrung pretty much all the juice out of the pop punk genre. So then they tried new things on, Revolution, and whether you like it or not, they did try new things on Father of All as well. And
Yeah.
in Mike's perfect world, my perfect world, I would have them make an album that's more focused on their balladry, because I think their ballads tend to be their best songs. I think that's when Billy Joe's voice is the best. I think that's when the instrumentation is the most interesting as well. Um, and I think them creating an album where they don't feel like this urgent need to break out into these explosive choruses all the time would be a good for their sound and development. Because I don't know. I mean, like, they can do that. Like, even things like 21 Guns is a ballad with a big explosive chorus, but like it's not like in the typical Green Day way. I think that type of sound is what they should focus on more, me personally, but that's not what they have right now. So according to Album of the Year, they have an album coming out this year, so we'll see what happens with that. I wish them the best, but I'm certainly not like excited for anything new from them. I will check it out, but yeah. Yeah, yeah,
No, yeah, completely fair.
yeah.
My album ranking goes American Idiot, Dookie, Warning, Nimrod, 21st Century Breakdown, Trey, Insomniac, 39 Smooth, Revolution Radio, Kerplunk, Uno, Dos, Father of All.
All right. Yeah, my ranking is Dookie, Nimrod, American Idiots, 21st Century Breakdown, Insomniac, Revolution Radio, Warning, Kerplunk, Trey, 1039, Uno, Dos, Father of All. Yeah. And I was okay. Overall, I did do like the actual averages of like all my scores, and my overall score is a light 5 for them.
Personally, but yeah, I completely understand.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna turn on my camera real quick.
Oh, okay.
Because and just like that.
Hold on. You're still loading.
Waiting for it to load.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. My notebook's completely filled.
Wow. Wait, did you give an overall score?
Yeah, it's a 7.
Okay, I think you kind of cut out there when you said that.
Strong 7, sorry.
Strong 7. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. For me personally, but yeah, that's the notebook completely filled.
Damn. So is this the end? Is this the end now?
Yeah, it's the end of the podcast, actually.
End of the podcast? Damn. Well,
and it ended on a good note, I guess.
I guess a 13 album artist will do that to you.
Yeah. No, yeah, this is definitely the payback for Kanye, like you said. But
yeah,
I feel much worse for you than
it's okay
than I did for me for Kanye, because
like I said, I'm happy I did it because now I can be confident in my opinions on Green Day. But yeah, it's just like I said, it comes down to it's not for me. And then the moments that even the fans don't really like are especially not for me.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, yeah, completely fair. But it's time to get into Song of the Week here.
Yes, it is.
And is it you or me?
I believe I am first this week. And I am gonna go with. I'm just gonna go with a classic, but it's one that I enjoyed quite a bit. I'm gonna do "Wake Me Up When September Ends."
Fab, yeah, perfectly classic there.
All right, we'll see you in a sec.
Wake me up when September ends.
All right, "Wake Me Up When September Ends" by Green Day. I forgot how long the outro to that song was, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, for me personally, that's the type of shit I did enjoy the most, like during this album art, during this artist analysis. when you have another series that's AA, albums anonymous, artist analysis. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, I like
Alcoholics
this.
Anonymous.
Yeah, we can start that one.
We could do that.
Yeah, I could do that. But this is also, I mean, I don't know how much lyrics play into how much people enjoy Green Day in general, but I do know the backstory of this one with his father and everything, and that makes these
Mhm.
lyrics hit even harder. It's probably the only time during this whole time that I was like, oh, these lyrics are really good.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's just a really good song.
it is. It's a really classic Green Day song,
Of course.
and it's yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. I think that they really thrive in this kind of sound, and they should do more of it. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm gonna go with. I think I'm gonna go with Longview off of Dookie.
Okay. Cool. I like that
Yeah,
one as well.
great. All right,
Alrighty.
Longview, Dookie, Green
Oh,
Day.
hell yeah.
I locked the door to my hotel and I lost a key.
All right, Longview by Green Day off of Dookie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's another classic one. I think that's really big at their concerts. Um, but yeah, I love that. Like, I love that bass line, and yeah, it's just another classic Green Day track that I really, really enjoy.
Yeah, the explosion on that track is really good too. Going from the verses
Mhm.
to the chorus. Like it's nice to listen to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's a great fucking tune. But I don't have much to say about it because I'm a little Green Dayed out.
Happy to hear I'm not the only one.
No,
It isn't easy being green, is it?
no, it's not. That's doubly funny because I'm Kermit.
Yes.
But yeah, that was our artist analysis on Green Day. Longest one
Hmm.
we've done.
I think it was
But I'm
just
glad we did
over.
it.
I think it was just over 200 songs.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and I did not do my the private session on Spotify, so
Oh no, Mike.
now all this means is I need to listen to the music I like more
Yeah,
to
yeah.
boost those numbers and get them so Green Day is not in my top 5 at the end of the year. I think that stops after
Put
Halloween, so I need to do it by then.
yeah. Put put Black Country New Road on repeat all night and all day long, even if you're not listening to music.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to Justin
Um,
Bieber it, while I sleep. Listen to Black
mhm.
Country New Road. I'm sure that'll.
Stream Farm.
Yeah, I'll put on Hellfire as I'm trying to go to sleep. I'm sure that'll give me good dreams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. But yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was yeah.
Yeah.
Just a lot of music.
Yep. We should be back in person for next week. I guess I never explained it, but the reason if you couldn't imply, the reason we're on Discord is because I had that unexpected, oh, I'm staying here for another week and a half, with
Yeah.
the marching band stuff. But we should be all good for next week to be in person. Hopefully,
It wasn't my fault this time.
it wasn't. It wasn't. It was Mike's fault, as per usual. No. But yeah. So sorry. Also, if my microphone quality has been really shit this episode, I don't know. I usually I have that little microphone that we used for the early days of the pod. Usually I bring that with me, but I didn't this time because I didn't think I would need it.
Mhm.
So this is laptop microphone, so high quality stuff. But
Everybody laugh at Mike and tell him he's unprepared. Go ahead.
call me poor, no microphone. um, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed though. This is definitely an interesting episode. I feel like it's definitely our most split artist analysis. But
Oh
I
yeah,
kind of knew coming into it that it would be like that. Kanye was probably the one before that was the most split, but
definitely.
now it's like really split.
Yeah.
We agreed a couple times though, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, do you got anything else for us today, Colin?
No, I'm all good. Just excited for new music by different people.
Yeah. Cool.
Do you have anything to say?
Not really, no. Um, but yeah, I mean, if you enjoyed this episode, thank you very much. Or if you're on streaming services, thank you very much. You can come over to YouTube and see our beautiful Discord icons and a couple Colin cameos.
Yeah.
We got links to Song of the Week playlist in the description, and got individual ones as well as a combined one. Got the Twitter page, got the TikTok page. You can find me on Album of the Year on streaming services. You can stream my music. You can. There's my Instagram down there. I think that's all I have. I don't know. I always lose track of what I have down there. Colin's got his Instagram review page as well as his Album of the Year page. And I think that's. Did I get everything?
Think so.
I kind of went through that faster than usual.
Yeah, right. But also, I won't make you put it in the description. But if you want to see my thoughts on movies and stuff, you can find me on Letterboxd,
Oh,
which is a movie reviewing app.
I will definitely link you down there. Just you have to send that to me so I can find you. But
Yeah, I'll do that.
yeah.
I don't like rate reviews all the time, but you can see my ratings and stuff if you'd like. I love movies a lot, and I've rated all the ones that I've seen this year and watched in general. But yeah, you can find me there as well if you'd like.
Oh yeah, I will link that. So yeah, go follow Colin's Letterbox. I'm guessing it's follows there. I don't know, but
I assume so.
okay, cool. Well,
All right.
this is a bit of a longin, so cool. I
Yeah,
mean,
we will see you next week.
see you next week. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.